Hello. Today we will be discussing the individual research report and the steps necessary to excel in it. Before we begin, let's first define what synthesis is. Synthesis is the connection of different ideas and evidence in order to form an argument, report, and/or conclusion. Synthesis involves the input of the writer. However, input does not mean the same thing as bias. This idea will be important for understanding the IRR later on. Another thing to keep in mind about synthesis is that it is not summarizing. Summary is just a shortened restatement of information, whereas synthesis is the combination of multiple perspectives to develop a new understanding.
With that out of the way, let's take a look at what the IRR actually is. It is a comprehensive essay that presents a student's independent research on a specific topic, synthesizing information from various sources and presenting it in a structured format. Remember, this is a report paper, not an argumentative paper, so you are simply presenting information from other researchers. So what are the steps? Well, first, your teacher will assign you groups of 3 to 4 people. With this new group, the first step to take would be getting their contact information and making a group chat.
Once you've done that, you're going to want to brainstorm a topic with your group that everyone is interested in and has plenty of research to go off of. Come up with an overall idea and then take a deeper dive into it. Your final check will be to make sure that your topic has enough lenses, enough for one lens per person in your group. A lens is a specific area of focus that you will look through when writing your individual paper. You and your team will choose what lenses you each want to do.
Here's a chart of the various different lenses to choose from, ranging from social all the way to economic and scientific. Choosing a lens for your essay all depends on its relevance to your topic and if you are interested in researching it. Now, with their respective lens, come up with a research question that your paper will be structured off of. This question should involve your group's overall topic but be specific to your chosen lens. A research question usually begins with, "To what extent?" or "How does?" Your question should be distinct and focus on a certain demographic, time period, or location.
With your new research question, it is time to start crafting your annotated bibliography. In order to complete the annotated bibliography, begin by finding 8 to 10 scholarly sources from the databases that your teacher will provide. Usually, the best databases are JSTOR and EBSCOhost. Find sources that you feel are relevant, credible, and provide differing perspectives to the topic at hand, which is your research question. With these sources, add them to a document and then write a paragraph which explains the author's credibility, then a summary of the source, and finally how you will implement it into your own paper. Shown here on the right is an example of an annotated bibliography and how it should be formatted. Some requirements to keep in mind when writing an annotated bibliography is that it should be in Times New Roman font, in size 12, and double-spaced. You should format the bibliography with 1-inch margins, and your last name and page number should be located at the top right corner, half an inch down from the top of the page. The authors of the sources should be listed in alphabetical order, and the first line of each bibliography, which is the text underneath the source, should be indented by half an inch.
Now that you've completed the annotated bibliography and all prior steps, we're able to begin drafting the IRR. When you are drafting your IRR, you will need an introduction, at least 2 body paragraphs, and a conclusion. Your introduction should include evidence that helps introduce a reader to the subject of your IRR and why it is important. This is known as context. Next, your body paragraph should convey the differing perspectives from the lens of the issue you are researching. Finally, for your conclusion, you have to reassess all the major points discussed throughout the paper and direct readers with the call to action.
You first want to organize your sources into certain subtopics based on your findings. After organizing your sources, find the best order of going through these topics. For example, jumping right into your main sources without providing readers with context on the issue will lead to confusion. As a result, it is important to make such research easy to understand in a logical structure. Moreover, brainstorming how to order your IRR will help clear up the way that you intend to apply the research from your annotated bibliography.
After finishing this step, start writing a rough draft of your IRR. It does not need to be perfect, and at first, it will be far from perfect. Any revisions or edits that you may want to make should be noted and saved for later.
After completing a rough draft, you either can ask a peer for help or edit and revise your report. By asking a peer for help, you can receive an outside perspective from an oblivious reader that can help simulate the most apparent problems in your IRR that you need to fix. If you edit and revise your report, you can fix mistakes that you previously noted and possibly find even new mistakes to fix. You can do these two steps interchangeably and multiple times, so you can perfect your IRR.
Here is a sample of what your essay should look like when you are done. Remember the style for the title page. Firstly, you should have your title. Secondly, you should have the class name, which is AP Seminar. Third, you should have the date. And fourth, you should have the word count. Here are some final reminders that you should keep in mind when writing your essay. Remember to use MLA or APA format for all the sources that you cite in the Works Cited section of the IRR. Remember to stay consistent. The paper should be size 12 font, the font should be Times New Roman, it should be double-spaced, it should not contain your name anywhere, and all the page numbers should be in the top right of every page.
And with that, we hope you have gotten a better understanding of the IRR, and we wish you best of luck for AP Seminar. Thanks for listening.